One of the things that is so fun about the Three Amigos is we are always thinking about how we can help people in the future. One of the things that will, without question, happen in the future and will happen multiple times is recessions. If
Yes.
you are on the one rental at a time journey, there will be a recession in your future. Is it in the next month? Is it in the next year, 2 years? Who knows? But one is coming. One of the things you must do is think about how to bulletproof your real estate portfolio. And I don't know a single soul on the planet that is better at talking about how to bulletproof your portfolio than the lumberjack landlord. I understand he is putting on an event tonight that is
Yes.
only going to be available for the first 100 people that join. So I want to figure out what the heck he's going to do when it's starting so I could be one of those 100 people. Matt, what's going on?
Thanks, Mike. It's yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I was talking to more and more investors and I was seeing no plan. I was like, what are you doing if it slows down a little bit? Well, well, we've factored that we'll have only an 8% increase this year. Wrong. So it was really just from necessity. I saw too many investors that weren't taking into consideration that things might slow down. And I think that the thing that bulletproofs the portfolio, it's really extensive, but it's, it follows that kind of acquisition, stabilization, optimization path. We always want to be in the position where we are giving back to our communities. Well, when do our communities need us most? When there's a recession.
Mhm.
They need us most then. What do they need? They need us to employ them. So that means I can save a lot of the optimization stuff when there's a down market. But the stabilization stuff, I need that for the bank because the bank wants to see
Yeah.
that I have a stabilized asset before they're going to give me another loan. The best way to convince any bank to give you more money is to be really good with the money you already have, no
Correct.
matter what the amount. And if you can articulate exactly what you've done to bulletproof your portfolio and say, this is how I have much less risk. Dion does a great job when he talks about, hey, I've got basically 3 tenant pools that I pull from,
Absolutely.
market, Section 8, and retired, community. And so for us, we expand that. So we just go another 2 ticks wider because we have the ability to get students on one side. And so students are great because there's a high value there. And last time I checked, the government still gives everybody loans. They just forgive them. So you're still going
Well,
to have,
they try to forgive them.
yeah, you're
Apparently, the
still going to
Supreme
have, you're
Court
still going to
didn't.
have that student housing piece there.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is, military. So we really focus a lot on the military side. So we have students, military, retirees, market tenants, and then we have one other one that
Section
I'm
8.
forgetting. Yeah, Section 8. Thank you. Yeah. So and there's a reason that that one's the most forgettable for me. It's the biggest pain point for me. But those 5 points. So the idea is, think of it this way. Let's say you have 20 tenants, and that's not 20 individual units. That might be husband and wife. That might be 4 roommates, because that cumulatively is what makes up the rent for that unit, right?
Correct.
So the issue is, if I have 20 people and unemployment gets to 5, 6, 7%, I'm looking at, if those are all market tenants, I'm looking at probably 2 or 3 of my people being out of work.
Oh, for sure.
Well, if
In a
that's
recession? Yeah, for
right,
sure.
and if the problem is that's 20 people, but that might only be 8 units.
Could be.
That means that 3 out of my 8 units might be in trouble financially.
Yeah, and again, you really bring this up because when you were getting going, right in the great financial crisis, I think you've always told me you had like 8 units, 8
Yeah.
paying tenants, and you went to 1 or something just
I
horrific.
went 8-3-1 in 2 months. So on the first of 1 month, on the 1st of August, I had 8. September, I had 3, and October, I had 1 paying me rent. Every day I went to work, I went to pay my mortgages.
Right. And this is why it is so important. When you think about heading into a recession, it's always the pivot because most people don't realize that what worked on the upside is like the worst thing to do when the market contracts. It's like, what, you're doing burr now? What the heck are you doing? I was like, what are we doing?
Well, and you guys
So
are smart too, because again, you have percentages. You have it worked out in your head, the percentages of where I want to be pulling tenants from.
yep.
So here's something really concerning. I don't know how housing did it. I'm still in the midst of all my research, but they broke their own pricing algorithm. They put rents down in my market this coming year.
Really?
Rents went
I
down.
I've had Section 8 housing for the better part of 22 years, and it's been flat
Yes.
several times.
Yes.
I don't recall any year being negative. And I would tell you the year that's coming up, because we are getting the numbers right now, it's up 4 or 5% for
But it's
2025.
so criminally, this is what I'm actually going on the limb and saying what they did is criminal because they have a set algorithm. It's 2 years back, an accumulation of and an average of the 5.
Right.
That means that they're counting 2018, so 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
Yep.
That year hasn't happened yet. It's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Rents didn't go down any of those years. Why is Section 8 going down? It didn't go down any of those years. So
Yeah.
they broke their algorithm. The problem is that I see often, and you guys see it too, all these people out there with all Section 8 strategy and it always wins. No, it doesn't. You just took, in my market, guys, they took a 9% cut.
Wow. Section 8 went
9.
down 9. Now, is that across the board, studios through 4s, or is it?
It varies, but it's like 9 was the worst. 9 was the worst. 2s were pretty much everything was bad, but I think the
Right.
worst was I think the worst was the 4s, which are the families.
Yeah, the big fan. That's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that's something, folks. So let me know if you have Section 8 housing. Have you ever seen Section 8 housing go down year on year? Leave comments below. Dion, I want to bring you into this conversation. Obviously, as quote unquote the lazy landlord, you're making it rocking and rolling on 18 units. You're just completed or about to complete your first burr that you'll never do again. So again, lazy landlord for the win. What do you do as you kind of do you even think about a recession? Do you always kind of think how to bulletproof your portfolio? The binder strategy is an awesome tool all the time that really needs to be done, in my opinion, before a recession. But what are you thinking about, bulletproofing your portfolio?
So a couple of things here with the Section 8 going flat. So I have the same thing. You've got studio, single, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. I think our 3-bedroom went down like $9. So it's not even so like 28 to 27.92 or whatever. Like it's just fractional, but the rest are kind of flat for this year. Last year we saw almost a 20% jump. So I was like, I don't think that's gonna go up a few years, right?
Yeah, that's not going to go up again. Yeah.
I had one tenant went from 2,200 to 3,000 without me
Yeah.
having to really do anything. So I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But now, love you guys like brothers, but I'm going to point out, sometimes I do disagree with things. I'm going to point out something that you guys have both gotten wrong since we met.
Ready.
And so this is why Matt's information is so important and why the first 100 people that get there tonight at 8 o'clock are lucky. Since we've met, you guys have said you've been investing for 2 decades. I've been investing for 1 decade, so I haven't lived through a recession. So I totally get it, but here's where you're wrong. I'm older than you guys. I've lived through probably another recession than you have seen, and I've been impacted worse by recessions than both of you.
Mhm.
After Desert Storm, we have the early 90s. What's going on? Military downsizes. I get pushed out. In 2008, housing crash hits, recession. Municipalities aren't making taxes, so I lose my job. So I've been completely destitute a couple of times because of recession. So when I get into investing, recessions matter more to me than I think almost anyone I know. So that's why I hunted down and tracked down guys like you who invested through recessions, the thing I didn't do. But I've lived through those recessions, having my job taken away. So I've said this in probably 100 videos with us together. My fear in a recession is never the investor, because an investor can mitigate the risk by watching guys like you that lived through it and saying, okay, when do you pivot? Matt, we all learned from your mistake. So we have some Section 8. It's frustrating. It's a harder program to work with. But if you have 8 that goes to 3, that goes to 1, and some of those were Section 8, you would have been fine. Even if it goes flat or goes down a little, they're paying. My military tenants, they're paying. Even if there's a downsizing, that means they don't re-enlist. So that's years in the future, one-offs. They don't come in and go, okay, half you guys are leaving. It's the end of your contract. You're not renewing. So bulletproofing the portfolio is something that I plan on starting looking for a property. I look for a property that has several economic drivers. I look for a property that's at least 10 miles from my other property, so it's not pulling sources from this, tenants from the same sources. And then I look at the diversification of tenant types. So I'm diversifying several ways, then the amount of reserves that we have. I didn't retire when cash flow was enough to retire. So this is something David Green got right. If you need $5,000 a month to live and you get $5,000 a month in cash flow, you don't retire.
Mhm.
For me, I needed around 4, but maybe 5. I waited till it hit 4 times that, then I retire. So I can lose half my profit,
Yep.
literally 50%,
Yep.
and still not go back to work. And
Mhm.
so everyone that comes there tonight that pays attention to Matt, yeah, he's done this. And if you haven't been an investor through recessions, I think this matters more
I
because
agree.
you know your job can go away and you don't have anything.
That's right.
If you had, tenants go from 8 to 3 to 1 and then you lost your job, that recession would have devastated you. Like completely.
Devastating.
Oh,
So
bankruptcy would have been the next step.
Yep.
yep.
If you had
So
lost
now
your
imagine
income.
the people
Yeah.
that don't have the 8, the 3, or the 1 at all and lost their job.
Right.
Yeah, this is why it's so important. Again, we talked earlier in the earlier episode about freeing the middle class. Let's again play that out. I mean, one of the things that could have happened when you own assets in a recession is you could sell one, right? You could extract equity, even if you have to sell it at fast and at a discount. Likely there will be equity in cash there to get. So, any other little tidbits or teases you want to give people, Matt, about what's coming up, bulletproofing your portfolio?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's something in it for, Dion's gone through it, but we all know Dion's smarter than most people, right?
Oh,
And
no
so
question, no question.
for him, he was able to make that bridge between, wow, when I do this, these are the things I have to make sure I'm looking out for. I think I can speak for 95% of investors out there. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
They bought the deal based on the merit of the deal in the moment. And the problem is that makes you a property manager, not an asset manager. And so this really is that jump that people need to make to take this seriously, to say, if I really want to grow this, I always put myself in the other person's shoes. And the other person's shoes in this particular case are banks. What is the bank going to do with me? What are they going to want from me? What are they going to need to see? Because every investor's thing is, what's my next deal? What's my next deal? Very often in times of recession, the first year of that recession, when you're going into it and then just kind of stabilizing and then you come out of it, right? What that looks like is that's very painful. But a lot of times that's the time to make the acquisition, right? That's when you and I are acquiring. That's when we're acquiring our assets. And then we know that it's going to be 12 months to 18 months before I get it stabilized, get the tenants that are out that aren't paying. Start to model things. You and I and Dion, all with our corporate executive jobs, we had to model things. These are the numbers I'm dealing with today. What does next month, next quarter, next 2 quarters look like? And it's a lot of that practical application of information. What's the information that you need to be pulling? And then how do you then apply that information? Because it's not data, it's information. What do you then do when you've transferred the data into information that then makes it actionable to then make the adjustments in your portfolio so you can sleep well at night? That's really the big thing. And I think that a lot of people aren't there after. That's why I felt the need to do this. And that's why I felt to do it for free.
Love that. Love the fact that that's free. Love the fact it's going to be recorded. Love the fact you're limiting it to the first 100 people. I will make sure this video is posted this afternoon. So if somebody's watching this, maybe they could sneak in and be one of those first 100. Where do we send them?
So you can send them right to Lumberjack Landlord on Facebook. All the information's there. They can click on the link. If they're part of the ORAC community already, it's already in the user group. But yeah, we have, I think right now we're at two signups for every 1 spot. So
Nice.
get there early, because we're literally just I'm in line. I'm going to take the first 100 people and that's how we're going to fill it. That's it.
Yep. First 100, not first 100 registered. First
No.
100 people to show up.
Correct.
Folks, good news. If you are part of my school community, Matt has promised to record it and we will upload it in the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
He wants to make sure the school community gets access to this. It is that valuable, that important. So if you're a part of school and you miss it, you're not first 100, know that you will get a copy of it in the next 48 hours. Matt, where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord, YouTube and Instagram. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll be doing the Bulletproof Your Portfolio event. And tomorrow we'll be doing live stream at 9 p.m. And if you really want to see me absolutely razz and rile people in the real estate industry, connect to me on Lumberjack Landlord. I got a mailer yesterday that I wanted to call the guy and start screaming at him. Literally,
I saw that.
literally send me a
Saw that.
picture of an effing tree. And
I
he's like,
saw that.
I'm interested in your property. Dude, that's a tree. You can't even see the door for the building. And bad news, wrong side of the street, dummy.
Yeah, he got the picture. Oh, that was a wasted mailer.
Oh,
Dion, where can they find you?
They can find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. So here, for everybody who signs up for this event with Matt, who doesn't make it in, you should come to the Lumberjack Landlords YouTube channel Thursday at, what is it, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern?
tonight, no, tonight.
On Thursday.
Thursdays is 9 p.m. Yeah, 9
Thursday is 9 p.m. If you don't make it in tonight, you should show up on Thursday and ask Matt to do it again, because he likes to do that every time.
Yeah, he does. Just make him do it again. Just make him pull up, do it again. I like it. Dion, you're amazing. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.